That's not fun. I wouldn't take another number. I refuse. I refuse to tap my computer. I said, okay, it's no problem.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Dave, we have a quorum, right?
Yes, we have a quorum.
Okay.
How many?
We're at last count 40.
Do me a favor, turn off your cell phones. Because usually in the middle of the meeting, some song starts playing, and we can't find out who's singing. Okay, let's go, ladies. Okay, yes, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. We'll go with the minutes from the previous meeting. Alan?
Thank you. The minutes of the November meeting are published in the December issue of the Cobrua Reporter. Has anyone found any omissions, additions, or corrections to those printed minutes? Are there any objections to accepting the minutes as published in the Cobrua Reporter? Thank you. The minutes are accepted.
Okay, it says the President's report before the Treasurer's report. The President's report is that all the committee people are working hard and they're doing a good job, and the theater's open and the movies will be starting on Sunday. We had a show so far. If you haven't gone there, go there, it's great. Okay, Lynn, Treasurer's report.
Good morning. Our month-ending balance in the checking account is $17,597. Our CD is $37,745. Excuse me, for a total of $55,343. Last month's balance was $57,745. Any questions? Thank you.
Okay, Steve, with the report, remember that we're going to only ask questions now on the report. If you have personal things that happen to you, Steve will be around after the meeting to sit down and talk to you. Steve?
Thank you. Good morning, thank you. I will be in the back of the room after the meeting to answer any questions or specific concerns. Security report for the month of November. We patrolled 3,268 miles, had 2,855 calls to the gatehouse. People are using the automatic system more. We appreciate that. 3,568 commercial vehicles and 2,531 food deliveries. Starting December on the 1st, we've increased our rover patrols to 2 patrol cars per shift. That will help us cover the village more and will help us with some traffic enforcement. We have radar signs that we have put up. The first one is put up on the westbound side of Kimberly between Cornwall and Ainsley. It will be flashing. It will show you what your speed is, and that will be moving around the village. We will also have other measures in place once people get used to where the signs are, that we'll be working on slowing down the traffic in the village. That is one of our main concerns here. And the security rovers will be looking out for speeders and making reports accordingly. We'd like to remind all the residents, keep your cars locked and don't leave your valuables in plain sight. If you're expecting deliveries and aren't home, use your neighbor to help you take in the package. Don't leave it out on the porch over the Christmas season, holiday season. Also, beware of scammers. This last month we had 4 incidents reported to the sheriff's office of people being scammed through phone and internet. Don't answer your door if you don't know who the people are. Call security, call 911. We will show up immediately. And once again, please remember to put your aides and housekeepers on the permanent list. That's it. Thank you.
Is there a question?
Yes, Neil Stevens from Rexford. Neil Stevens from Rexford. Okay, quick background. We don't tow cars anymore. What we do is we contracted with a company called No Go Booting. And what they do is they come in and boot, because we don't want to have any contingent liability if a car gets damaged or broken into after it's been towed. Well, last night at 4:55 one of my residents contacted me and said there was somebody parked in her parking spot. That car, incidentally, is still there today. So anyway, I called No-Go Booting, ordered a boot, and at 6:24, I got a phone call from No-Go because your people at the gate wouldn't let them in. They refused access. Now this, I keep hearing that Sen West and you guys don't have anything to do with the associations, but you sure did last night. And I called the gate at 5:03 to get these people admitted and printed one and hit the one for last night. I talked to a girl by the name of Caroline, and the first call was at 6:20 or 6:24, and it lasted little over 2 minutes. She said, "Well, we're not going to let him in." I says, "Why?" She says, "Well, that's protocol." And I says, "That's protocol?" She says, "Yeah, I got to get permission from my boss." I says, "Okay, call your boss and then have him call me." She says, "I'm not going to do that." And I said, "Why?" "I don't want to." So then the guy from No-Go calls me back at 6:28, and this phone call lasted for 4 minutes and 52 seconds. And we talked about it, and I talked to her again. She says, "I'm not letting him in, period." So I says, "Okay, well, tomorrow's Cobrua, and we see the head of security, and I'll tell him about it." She says, "Oh, gee, I really look forward to that." She says, "It's going to be amazing."
Did you not come to the gate as well?
Yes, I did.
And you told them who you were?
Yes,
and
I
that
did.
You authorized the tow?
Yes,
and
I did.
Shortly thereafter, they were allowed to come in,
No,
correct?
they were not. They left, and they wouldn't come back. And
Well,
you're
number one,
I'm not done. I'm not done yet.
And
I listened to you. Now you listen to me, because I'm not finished.
Hold it. If you're gonna talk like that, I'm gonna take the microphone.
Well, I just want to.
I don't care. You're gonna be respectful.
Okay.
No smart aleck.
I
Smart aleck
Okay,
remarks.
I apologize, but I just want to finish
Okay,
the last
I
of
can
my
understand.
story.
That's it.
But anyway, she was very flippant, very rude, and just wasn't going to comply with anything. So I went down to the gate, and there's a gentleman that sits at the gate. I can't remember his name. Wears glasses, had a hat on, and I told him the story. And he says, "Well, I've been trying to find Caroline for quite a while now, and she's not answering her phone." So anyway, that's what I got. No-Go never got in. No-Go's got a contract with Rexford. So I can't for the life of me figure out why they couldn't get in. We get cars in, we get trucks in, we get everything else that you guys let in, but you wouldn't let my booting company in. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. I will look into it and get back to you.
I have a question. If a car is going to be towed, you have to give notice that in 72 hours it's going to be removed. Now, if you're going to put a boot on a car, why don't you give them 72 hours notice? What is the difference between towing and putting a boot on? Yeah, but
That's not the point, sir.
as far as I know, you have to give 72 hours if you want to tow a car, so I don't see why you don't have to give 72 hours to put a boot on. I would check it out with First Service Residential. That's their responsibility.
All right, okay. Steve said he's gonna look into it. Steve's gonna look into it. Anything else for security? Okay, that's it. Thank you. Stanley, Community Affairs and M&O.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Tonight at the West Boca Community Council, there's a meeting that'll be held at the library on 441. The speaker is going to be Andre Fladell, who's an excellent speaker. He's going to talk about the agricultural reserve and what's going on in there. At the previous West Boca meeting, we had Commissioner Sachs there. If you travel on Lyons Road between Blades and Palmetto, you'll see that it's curvy and there's a lot of traffic, and in some areas there is Candido's a little on the dangerous side. Originally, that street was supposed to be straightened out, but when they finally got around to repaving, it ended up with an S-curve around Escondido, and there have been a number of accidents, and it's become a problem. It's also, our people travel that area too, so it's a little on the dangerous side. Commissioner Sachs has made an appointment with the head of Florida's Department of Transportation to meet him in January so that we can get engineers to come out and see how to remedy that problem that we have. So, well, I'll keep you posted on that because I'm a member of the West Boca Council. At the Uptown Boca development, we have enough traffic now because of all the restaurants and new facilities there. Amazon Fresh is going to be opening up a supermarket one of these days, and that's going to add to more traffic. So we have nothing but traffic headaches going on around here, and hopefully we can get some remedies. And last but not least, GL Homes has purchased the farm area just alongside Olympic Heights High School, that open field on both sides. They plan on putting in homes on the side with the high school. The problem is, where do you have entrances and exits going in and out of the new facility? I'm sure Lyons Road is going to be one of them. Another road entrance they want to do is on 95th Avenue South, where the library is. So right now that's a big headache, and it's got to be resolved. So just be prepared for more traffic eventually in the next year or so. Any questions regarding community affairs?
Yes.
From the delegates? You'll have your turn at good welfare. No questions? Thank you. Go ahead with M&O?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning again. First, an announcement. Because of shortages of help in the fitness center, effective this Saturday, January 18th, and for Saturday and Sunday, the fitness center will be closing at 2 p.m. until we can get enough help, to continue full day's activities. So keep in mind, effective this Saturday and Sunday, 2 p.m. will be the closing time in the fitness center. The M&O committee met with management November 17th. President for management was Judy Milton, vice president of the vice president. She's calling me. She must have heard me mention her name. Monica Wells, senior VP. Abby Koffler, entertainment, and Dan Cruz, the regional facilities manager. The discussion at that time was the theater. We were sweating out the one last large item we needed, that was railings. Luckily, about a week and a half ago, 10 days ago, the railings came in, they've been installed, and this last Saturday, we opened up the theater for a show. If you haven't seen the theater, take a peek. It's dynamite. Originally we sold 300 tickets for the show because people were hesitant about going in. By the time we finished up, we had almost 500 people show up for the show. And every day I see lines of people buying tickets. I can't describe it, it's just really beautiful in plain English. Okay, let me go on. We budgeted for 2 pools to be renovated this year. That'll be Cornwall and Preston. we've given the contract to the previous contractor who's done it, DeSantis, and he's done a good job, so that's why we continue working with him. Guests who purchase a guest pass for the week will not be required to pay the additional $8 if they want to go to a show. The surcharge will be put on. The internal buses are now in service. They're quiet. The 2 passengers that ride on them have not complained, so things look pretty good. The blue buses that we were using temporarily, with the blue top buses that we're using temporarily, have now become the external buses. So, coming back to the internal buses, the seats are not one in front of the other, but sideways. Like, I don't know if you come from New York, you know how the New York City subway seats are. This way it gives us more aisle space for the people with the packages and so forth. And hopefully we shouldn't have too many problems. As Steve mentioned, we added, effective the beginning of December, we added an additional rover to patrol the area. So now we have 2 rovers going around. Hopefully people will just slow down. With all the little problems we've had on the, also the big problems we've had with, you know, traffic around here, it's the drivers basically that are the problem. You've got to slow down. You've got to observe the optional stop signs and just, you know, be considerate of other people and be careful. And we're trying to do as many things as we could to slow the traffic down, but it's up to the drivers to cooperate, and that's the most important thing. Collections for the month of May were $51,000. This is from delinquent accounts. 70-some-odd% of that goes back into our treasury that we use for everyday, you know, operational expenses. Let me wish everyone a happy, healthy New Year, Merry Christmas, and stay safe. Questions regarding my report? Thank you.
Stan, do you have anything on this new Xfinity committee?
Yeah. Okay.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can flip the pages. All right, we have a committee that's of 6 of us that are going to be interviewing 5 different cable contractors or companies. We've already I've set up a meeting with 2 of them. The initial meetings are going to be just give and take as to what we're looking for and what they can offer us. It could be possible that some of these companies cannot undertake a facility like ours, which happened in the past. So right now, we're in the process of contacting 5 different companies, including Comcast, of course, and within the next month or so, we hope to go forward, and we'll keep you up to date on what's happening with the cable. Also, we have a new representative, 2 new representatives from Comcast, which I've been working with, and right now I can't complain. Service I'm getting from them is excellent. If I call them up with a problem, if somebody calls me with a problem, I will call them, and within a day or so, we've rectified it. So hopefully things have smoothed out with Comcast, and if you have any problems, just let me know. That's my job, and I'll be more than happy to help. Any questions regarding cable? Yes.
Yeah.
Excuse
You
me.
gotta go to the microphone.
Oh, wait, Stanley, excuse me, you have
Yeah.
to go to the mic. And if you have a question, sir, go to the mic. It's right there, it's not far. That way we can hear you.
You know, my question is, you just said that you're going to talk to the providers and tell them what your expectations are and what you need to have happen. Are you going to release those things to the rest of us as to what your expectations are so that we have some idea of what you're looking at? And
Right now, most of us know what we're getting from Comcast. We're going to be asking these companies, are they able to provide us with what we currently have today, and what else could they offer us? And as we have discussions, I'll report it to you. We haven't discussed anything with any company, so I can't give you a report. But you should know what our cable contract calls for now, but the service you're getting.
Yeah, and I like this. I like the service that I'm getting now, and I don't want to lose any portion of it.
Well, I'm not taking any votes right now on losing or not. We're in the process of talking and seeing what has to be done.
Yeah, I'd like to know, when does our contract end with
At the
Comcast?
end of 2023.
Okay, and the other question is, I find it very difficult to get a live person on the phone. Shall I call you if that happens again?
Well, let me just say this, you have to have patience. There's a French word, geduld. You call them up, you'll get the recording, is this personal, is this business, et cetera, et cetera. You have to be persistent and say, I'd like to speak to an associate. I call them, I get the same thing, the recorded message, et cetera, and I keep saying I want to speak to an associate, and I get through. If you're having trouble and you don't get through, let me know and I'll take care of it.
Okay, thank you.
Also, tell them, tell them you're from Century Village in Boca Raton, and ask them if they're from, I believe it's Fort Myers and Jacksonville. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
those are the two areas that have our contracts on their computers, and they should know exactly the service we get and how to remedy any problems.
When you get someone live, we all go through the same thing. Just, I say agent, I want to speak to the associate. When you get them, the first thing you tell them is, I live in Century Village in Boca Raton, Florida, and I want to speak to someone from Fort Myers or Jacksonville, because they understand our contract, and believe it or not, they can help you a lot better than anyone else.
I'm not pushing Comcast right now, but
No.
previously we heard there were some problems getting through to them, talking to them. There were 2 new reps that have come aboard within the last couple of months, and I can't complain. Like I said, when I call them, if there's a problem, they take care of it. So what we're trying to do now is, and this is a company policy on their part, we're trying to get the reps to come back, which we had, twice a week, Monday in the morning and Wednesday in the afternoon. So as soon as Comcast allows their personnel to meet with people live, it'll make it easier, to solve problems.
Thanks a lot.
We had them right here in the C, in room C,
Room
upstairs.
Room C.
It's not our fault, we keep bugging them, and Comcast, because of the virus, refuses to let their people meet with the public.
Yeah, because I was talking to one of our reps, and she would be more than willing to come, but it's company policy on their part not allowing him to, meet face to face with people right now. But we've had good rapport with them, so can't complain.
Okay, thank you again.
You're welcome.
Okay, anything else for Stanley? Okay, old business. Anybody have anything under old business? Anybody have anything under new business? Okay, anybody have anything under good and welfare? I have something under good and welfare. What's happening here with the buildings reminds me of Nassau County in the 50s, and Suffolk County, I'm from Long Island, in the 80s. I would play golf, and there would be all farms out in Suffolk County. And the next year I go back and play golf, and they were all buildings. They were all houses. And that's what's happening here. So we have to get used to people. What's happening is no more farmers. The kids are selling the property. They're all making a lot of money. In fact, I read where this farms are going to be built, where it's going to build houses by the school. They went for $214,000 an acre. That's what they paid the farmer. That's what the Post said last Sunday. So it's coming. So when you see the traffic now, this is not just snowbirds. People are moving to Florida. So expect long lines in the shopping areas and long lines in the roads. Okay? Anybody outside of the delegates have anything under good and welfare?
Yeah, I just have one. As far as the rec lease is concerned, I believe that Deerfield Beach bought out their lease before it was up. I believe that Deerfield beach and bought out directly before it was up, before the 40 years? Does that affect us in any way?
You're talking about our rec lease here, 2028 is what, we have a committee looking into that.
Okay, thank you.
And we have a committee looking into that. Yes, ma'am. Just please tell us who you are.
Yes, I
and where you
will.
live.
Yeah, Sheila Prince in Ainsley.
Yes, ma'am.
Two questions. As far as the S-curve on Lyons, when the work was done originally, supposedly the S-curve was supposed to be made a little easier. Is there a reason that we still have that problem, that they didn't do it? And are they going to do it?
If I follow what you're saying, the commissioners meeting with the Florida Department of Transportation in January to have engineers come in and see how they can correct that problem. Originally, as I said, that was supposed to be straightened out, made it a straight road,
Right.
but they couldn't do it. And the way they put in the S-curve, it became a little dangerous. So right now, we have to wait until the engineers, traffic engineers that is, review the situation and see how to come up with a solution.
Okay, thank you. And the other question, I started walking around the village instead of using the treadmill in the gym, and I found a very dangerous problem, and that is walking on the same roadway that the bicycles are riding on. I had several instances where on one particular day, 3 people, 2 men and 1 woman. The woman sped by me. The men were a little slower. None of them used a bell, a whistle. None of them said, coming up on your left, coming up on your right. And if I had moved an inch in either direction, I just would have been hit. Now, I've been in other communities where in bus lanes, they have a lane for bicycles. Bicycles are vehicles. The buses run every half an hour, sometimes every hour. And I'm wondering if some of the grass could be cut away in certain parts and a bike lane put in so that the walkers don't have to confront the bicyclists.
Well, I have to tell you, the MNO committee has been looking into that for the last 6 months because we're having different ideas. Some want to put bicycle lanes in the bus lanes. Some want to cut the grass back so we can, make bicycle lanes. Right now, we really don't have an answer, to tell you the truth. I'm not going to lie to you. We're trying to find out where we can safely put bicycle lanes in Century Village. I know it's a problem for people walking because people are riding bikes and some of them speed and they don't use their bells or anything like that. I really don't have an answer. I'm honest about it. We're looking into it. I'm going to come up with an answer. We're trying. We really are.
As a matter of fact, there was on one of my walks, I was walking past the exit lane out closest to Ainsley from the parking lot from the clubhouse, and a bicyclist just came and made a right turn right up that lane. As I was walking by, no bell, no whistle, no nothing, just cut me right off.
And they don't stop for stop signs either.
No, nothing.
I know. But I just want to tell you that we're looking into it. Don't have an answer right now.
Okay.
I don't con anybody. We don't have an answer. We have different theories and how expensive it's going to be. And, we looked at everything. Put them in the bus lanes. When I rode a bike, we would time the buses. The buses went by, we knew we had 20 minutes, and then we would look for the buses to come. I don't recommend that to anyone because it was crazy, because if you mistimed the bus, you're dead. So we're looking into it. It's a big problem. It really is.
Okay,
and I can
thank you.
appreciate your frustration.
Thank you.
Yes. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Just tell us who you are.
State your name and association.
Hi, my name's John Baxter. I'm living in Mansfield. I'm fairly new here, so this may have been brought up before. With all the traffic on Yamato there, could we look into putting up a noise or privacy barrier along Yamato?
We put a noise barrier between Yamato and Mansfield and Preston and Suffolk.
Along Yamato, yes.
The odds on that 0 to 0, but we could ask. Listen, I ask you. Tell me to ask. I will put on a list and I will ask. I will ask the commissioner to look into it.
Okay, just one more question.
Yes, go ahead.
When the old barrier was, torn down along Yamato, I think last year, it's been, replaced with trees and bushes, and thank you. But compared along Yamato with the trees and bushes along the side where the Florida Turnpike is, on the side where the Florida Turnpike is, the trees are about every 10 or 12 feet. Along Yamato, the new replacement, they're 25 or 30 feet. And I'm wondering why the difference is. And one other thing, when they trimmed the bushes, at least last time I saw them do it, they trimmed the new bushes down to be equal with the fence. Could they just let those grow up to where, like the others were, at 8 or 10 or 12 feet? Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning, Fred Hadley, Cornwall E. First of all, Mike, I think you made a minor misspeak. You said 214,000. The property has been sold for 214 million. That's $250 million.
I said per acre.
Oh, per acre. All right,
Okay,
fine, no problem. But it is 215 million, or one of the biggest.
214 an acre.
Biggest property sales in the county. To speak to the question about the Lyons Road S-curve, I spoke to the county engineers when that project was ongoing, and they sent me drawings, and they said they can't really eliminate the S-curve because of the way...
Excuse me, ladies, please. One person. Yes.
They can't eliminate the S-curve because of the way the homes are built. They would have to condemn homes. They're not going to do that. What they did was they reduced, the main purpose of that construction, by the way, was flood relief, storm sewers. While they were doing it, they were attempting to reduce the radius of curvature on those curves. But they sent me drawings, and it was just so slight. The way they did it is they reduced the median, and by doing that, they were able to make the curves ever so slightly straighter, but you'd never notice it by looking at it. The other thing they did was super elevate the curves, which is a fancy word for saying they banked the curves. Of course, the effect that all of that had is to give everybody the confidence to go flying through there now at 50 miles an hour. So I don't know what the answer is to that. Getting back to our traffic problems, Saturday night I was coming home from the dance, and I noticed by the Cornwall pool a Glow maintenance golf cart was parked there at 10:40 p.m., pitch black night. There were no lights on the rear and the front. I have photos on my iPhone, and it was my understanding that M&O was going to work with management and see that those vehicles are safely illuminated. They are not. I haven't seen the your speed radar sign yet, but I think that'll help a little bit. The other thing that might help, I noticed in downtown Boca, on the pedestrian crossing signs, they have flashing yellow lights that are constantly flashing just to catch the eye of the motorist and remind them that it is a pedestrian crossing. As far as it was mentioned a few meetings ago about the COP, and Vice President Mirzon made a statement which I don't think was accurate, and I'd like to correct it. I spoke that they had radio contact with the dispatcher, and Dave Mirzon said that the radios were removed from the cars. I just spoke to a COP driver today, a long-term driver. He said the radios were never removed from the cars. What was removed or police scanners. Scanners are something you just listen to radio traffic back and forth, but it's not a two-way device. The two-way radios, according to several drivers, Dave, have always been in the COP car. And I think it's high time that we put all the, politics between the Cobrua leaders and the sheriff aside and get that COP observer patrol back in Century Village. After all, it's our tax money that is funding these vehicles. Why should we not reap the benefit? Now, they're not peace officers. They don't carry guns. They don't get out of the car, and they don't tell people what to do. They are merely eyes and ears and of the sheriff, and they provide some deterrent effect. When people see the car, it looks like a sheriff's car, or they know that they are in radio contact, Dave, with the sheriff. And I think we need to really get that back. I don't understand why the whole county gets this kind of protection and Century Village does not.
2 minutes are up.
Can we have a response to that?
No. No.
Mike, you were the one that caused the argument.
No, I was not the one.
Yes, you were. We have multiple witnesses that you got into an altercation. I know it's unpleasant for you to hear the truth, but it's high time you put your personal argument with the sheriff on the side and get those patrols back in here, or ask for a reduction in our property taxes. Thank you very much, and happy holidays, everyone.
Fred, I don't have that right now. Come on.
Can I make a statement, Mr. President?
Yes.
The S-curve situation has been taken out of the hands of the county engineers. It's going to be handled by the state engineers from here on in to resolve that problem, or whatever solutions they can come with. As for the COP, there's more to it than just what you're explaining. The COP was originally a all Century Village patrol. Prior to the disbanding of that group, they now patrol outside. So what was supposed to be a 100% Century Village patrol is no longer. I'm answering your question. I'm not getting into a conversation with you.
And we're not going to have a
I'm listening, Stanley.
Fred, we're not having a conversation, okay? You asked the question, he answered, that's it.
This is not a debate. I just answered some of the reasoning as to why there's no COP here.
That answered your question, that's it, no more questions.
I'll just say half a
Fred,
loaf
no
is
more
better
questions.
than none.
Fred, no more
I'll
questions.
take part-time patrols over no patrols.
To the mic. To the mic.
Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn.
Somebody come. Go ahead.
Camilo Parado Jr., with Suffolk Key. When the buses stop on New England Boulevard going west, when they stop and I'm coming along, I'm always leery that somebody's going to go on the other side. I usually stop and wait for I crawl by a little bit, but it seems like, I don't know if you notice it. Again, the New England Boulevard going west, when the bus stops, and then you go on the outside lane, and then you're moving to go out. It seems like I'm always leery that somebody's going to come out.
You mean they cut you off?
Pardon?
You mean they cut you off? Is that what you mean?
No. Bus rider.
Then,
No, the bus is stopped on the right side,
right.
on New England Boulevard, okay? Footpath. Now, you go to the outside lane, I'm always leery. Yeah, I'm always leery somebody's going to come on the front from the front of the bus. I don't know if you follow what I'm saying. Just like a school bus when the school bus is stopped.
Right.
They got a sign that says, don't. Anyway, I just thought that might be a suggestion anyway.
Okay.
That either the bus driver could wave that nobody's going to go in front of the bus to go to.
Okay.
Anyway, I hope you got the picture.
Right.
I'll explain it. Okay.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, your
No,
motion to
simple thing
adjourn?
like that, are you gonna?
Please tell us your name, because Alan yells at me all the time. I don't know.
Question, Mike, there's a question. Gentleman in the blue shirt, right?
Okay, got a motion to adjourn? Okay, second. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You beat him to